How's it going?
Not bad. How are you
Can't
doing?
complain.
Not even about cable and its, what would you call
Almost.
it?
No,
Reliability?
we've been working pretty well, knock on wood. So, it's a weird thing going on here. Yeah, whatever. I have a feeling that my internet's working better than I am, but we'll see. So, let's see. So, how's it in your world lately?
Not bad here. Trying to learn more about solar power and what ways we can put it on a shed to run a light. It's like I can get a panel and it comes with the fancy thing that can charge the battery. But then I guess I need to get an inverter to turn the battery into something you can plug a light into. I don't know. Trying to think of what's
Oh,
the best way to do all that.
the wheel's already been invented there. I'll give it a specific example that might help. So, on my ham equipment, I have a solar panel set up outside, 100 watts. It doesn't have to be much. And it goes to there we go. To $100 portable battery that has a 12-volt input, and that input is capable of conditioning the variable voltage that you get from the solar panel. And on the output side, it has multiple 12-volt outputs for specific devices, USB power, as well as a built-in inverter for 110 power if that's needed. And it's trying to remember, like 12,000 volt amp or something like that. It'll last a good while, and it was very inexpensive. So that takes care of the whole thing for you.
I did see some of those devices. I wasn't sure if they were reliable or long lasting or not. So,
That I've had this
hey,
one
Chris.
for about
Hello.
4 years. Yeah, how'd you see? I've had this one about 4 years, and it's still going along. It's still trucking. So I might, if I'll try to send you a link to that. And again, it's just an example of one possible setup, but it does work. And if you're only wanting to do is a light in the shed, that's no big deal. That's no brainer. Oh man. So how's it going? See?
Oh, doing. We survived our trip to Tullahoma today, so
Going all the way to Tullahoma.
yeah. Chris
By the
just
way,
needed to get away. Good
these
stuff.
are awesome.
Yep.
These are awesome.
Yeah, as soon as we deposited yours, we went over and got Chris a replacement bag.
Yeah. I am unfortunately more than halfway done with the peanuts, and I got to keep these out of reach.
Yeah,
They're
I
good.
got you. They are addictive.
For Neff's benefit, these are pickled roasted peanuts. Pickled roasted peanuts.
Or
And
dill
then,
pickle, basically. They just got dill pickle flavoring.
and it's not overwhelming, but it's noticeable enough that it really, you've got that kick every other peanut or so. And then here, they just had a variety of dried fruits.
Yeah.
I saw a video where people were being punished and being forced to eat things like, peanuts covered in dill.
Oh, God. I'd love that. Give me that punishment. I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's all good stuff. And unfortunately, like she says, it's pretty addictive.
Yeah. New little shop in town. It was just an interesting little. You just go in there and it's got a bunch of like little plastic fish bowls with all these different flavors on them.
Pea Treasures was the name of it, and the Elk River, or Elk Valley, rather, nut company, Elk Valley Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a local shop, as she said. So it's right here on the bypass.
Yeah, I think Robert and Davey went over and I think between them they spent about $50.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. A little shop like that can get expensive.
Yeah.
But did you walk in there with your Gamemaster stuff? Did they?
I didn't have it on, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I might try going up around there next week.
There you go. Crystal will plug it again. I think while we were in there, they had said that somebody just left, and Robert and Davey go over there later. So I think she's referred 4 or 5 people over there now. So she
ought to get a credit.
Exactly, that's what she's pushing for. I just got some sort of little video message. I'll be back live in a sec.
All right. Oh, that modern technology thing. Have you gotten any further in New World?
Not really. I'm like level 48, I think.
Yeah,
I'm slow.
I wouldn't be in a hurry. What to say? The game is not done.
I was very disappointed that you couldn't really do any arranged small team PvP.
And that's still the case, really, unless it's open world random encounters. And those right now are very one-sided in our favor, I'll say, because of the way that the map has worked out. There are a couple of very powerful companies on our server that are Syndicate, is it? The blue guys, purple guys.
Yeah,
So
I was
everybody else
impressed when I
is
saw they would do the shell companies just to own more territory. I was like, oh, that's
exactly, yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly. I'm waiting for any sort of realistic sort of PvP scene. I'm waiting for the server mergers to happen. And hopefully those mergers make things more competitive and more active, because our server is actually in the lower tier of population, as it turns out. So we're going to be merged for sure. Whether we're the merger or mergee, don't know. But if that happens, we'll see. But yeah, this is one of those games that I'd prefer to. Great, we tasted it, but let's let it bake for another year and see what it's like after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the Zerg thing, and that's about all there is at the moment.
Agreed. Yeah, that is true. They introduced Void Gauntlet, a new weapon this week, and it's actually really interesting. I've been using it quite a bit.
Don't look, Chris. There's a hand on your shoulder.
Oh my gosh! No, you're fine. You're good. You're good.
Dill pickle peanuts.
Yeah, they're great.
He just showed up his quarter of a bag.
Yeah, I'm already through most of it, and that's sad.
They're very addictive.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, they're both really good.
Police are gonna pull you over, and what's in the baggie?
So that's gonna go well.
Believe it or not, that's pretty much what I went in and they let me sample and I'm hooked on them.
Mm-hmm.
We went by to replace my dill pickle peanuts and they're like, we've already had one group in. And then I know Robert and Davey and Austin went today. Each one spent anywhere from $10 to $50.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. Like I told C, I'm afraid it's going to get addictive and expensive in this. Oh, okay, but
like I said, they've got in teas, coffees, hot chocolates, all kinds of crap.
And they got a punch card program. We get discounts.
Yeah.
they talk about having a game scene. What's that all about?
I do not know.
So it's not like a restaurant. You don't sit down and eat. So yeah,
No.
I don't know. Okay.
Have I ever taken you to the place in Huntsville?
What's that?
Oh, the Lucky Dice.
No.
It's a game store, but they have a sandwich shop built in.
Really?
It's,
okay, that works.
It's actually an interesting little thing. Maybe one of these Saturdays we can make us a trip down there.
But
What I'd love to see is a place like Cloaks and Daggers. And
Yeah,
when I went down to visit. Yeah, in Orlando.
Mhm.
Yeah, that place was awesome.
I was telling
Good
Chris,
served by. Yeah.
to tell her about that a little bit.
I got
I may have some pictures of it, but basically it's a bar. It's a tavern.
Mhm.
That's in Orlando. That's not necessarily D&D, but fantasy themed. So your servers are elves and dwarves and gnomes and such. And they've got posters of fancy stuff all over the place and fantasy themed drinks. They were serving a dragon and unicorn as the prime meals. That's that sort of thing. It was pretty cool.
When it goes circle is when it's not.
I'm glad you like the peanuts.
Thank you very much.
You are
It's
more
much
than welcome.
appreciated.
Y'all have to check them out.
And we will.
See y'all later. I gotta get ready for work. Yeah.
All right. Take care. Let's see here.
I'm still in my intermittent issue, so evidently it is a piece of hardware problem because that's what it was doing before when we had this issue.
You've got them aware of it. You said your appointment was Monday-ish?
Well, I'm going to call them on Monday while I'm here to describe it. If I had let
Okay.
Krista try to describe it, she didn't know what was going on. She just now saw what it was doing.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't think she'd be able to explain it to them. And I wasn't I was afraid to drop Eric's name, so that's the reason why.
Yeah, and as I said, as we said, that's no problem because they, yeah, it's a small town. Yeah, that happens.
I got you. Because if I start explaining, oh, it's upstream packet loss, and not be able to tell them how I know that.
But don't worry. What'll happen is, and this happened all the time, because Eric's been working there over a decade.
Yeah.
So people know him and know that he's the one that understands the system. So they just don't bother with the tier 1 tech support. And you have the typical thing that used to happen at Valley, and I know I'm telling on E, is whenever people would call him, he'd be perfectly professional on the phone, and then hang up and start. And it was the same thing at FBU. He'd be perfectly professional on the phone, and why the hell did they send it back to me? He did. But the point is that so many people do know that he can solve the problem, that the tier 1 people were in the bad habit of not doing their job.
Yeah.
And so they would just immediately dump them back to him, and not me, because nobody knew my name.
Yeah.
That was the advantage of being new and somewhat invisible. So they piled it on pretty good.
Yeah.
And I complained about it quite a bit, but didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Because I had this theory that I was a supervisor, and then I found out later I'm really not.
Yeah.
So nobody listens.
I represent the old way of doing things because I was hired while the original owner was still alive and everything. Saw a lot of that transition. It's a whole lot easier than it was back then. But everybody won't tell you that. Like, oh no, this is terrible. And we're fixing to go to a digital format, and it's going to be a steep learning curve for us long in the tooth people.
Digital?
Everything's done off an iPad. Invoicing.
Yep.
Dispatch, routing. It'll be quantum leap. Everything we'll be doing will be.
Yep. Wait for the portal to show up and then walk you to your next job.
Yeah.
Save all that driving.
The thing is, the way I like to stop at Hobby Lobby to pee because there's nobody else in the bathroom. I'll get, why are you hanging out at Hobby Lobby for 15 minutes?
There are some things you just don't want to know.
That's the big thing that everybody's not going to be prepared for, is the fact we're going to be constantly monitored.
Yeah.
Me included.
That aside, and that'll be a thing. I think you guys will enjoy some of the simplicity that introduces to your life. Because I'm sure you have hassles over missing paperwork, people claiming to have done things that they didn't, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that yeah. And having yeah, cool. And it'll be a net positive, I think. Just as long as it's not replacing jobs, as long as it's not full-on automation, robots going out there replacing tags and stuff. That's no.
Yeah, we're not going to get to that point.
And howdy, Stephen. It seems very dangerous over at your place.
It's a shocking.
It's bad. It's bad enough having a biohazard symbol. A biohazard symbol that's glowing and arcing with green. That should be something to run away from. Of course, it may not be a biohazard symbol. It might be just part of the Olympic symbol. I'm just looking at it creepy. No, it's a biohazard symbol. So how goes in your world?
Hopefully, tomorrow I will be making cookies with my granddaughters.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's that Christmas Thanksgiving thing. Oh man, I don't know if you're the right crowd to name drop this one, but do y'all remember Grandma?
I remember Sokol.
Yeah, but his grandmother every Christmas would fill their living room and kitchen with cookies. And it would start right after Thanksgiving and just be a non-stop cookie factory. It's like the gingerbread house. You think you're being lured in and fattened up. But it was really good. You go over there and man, of course, she, like Stephen here, had a lot of grandkids, so that was her motivation. But she didn't care if the friends of the grandkids would wander in. So it was good stuff.
Yeah.
Not conducive to diabetics, but as you're aware, when in our 20s we could handle it more.
Yeah.
Oh man, cool. Hope that works out.
after I make cookies with the kids, I'll make another patch with I can't remember what the
Splenda.
Splenda, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff. Whatever.
Splenda, and then I've got a Chuvia brown sugar.
Cool. Hopefully those last until we see you wander in next.
I have gone the route of Thomas, and I start.
You froze on us, Chris.
Started an original series character in Trek. It's been different. I don't know enough about the Discovery timeline to start with it, but
that might be the reason to do it. You know, just it's a Trek thing experience that you're just totally new.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it has no bearing on the original startup that we first played. It is original series oriented.
That's right. It was good to see that there was interest in it after all, and it just blossomed organically.
Yeah,
word of mouth. Because
surprise,
Mad Mike and Mitchell and just that whole crew over there. Howdy. I did see where there's a new, I don't know what they call them, the 5-man events that they had, like we did a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For on the Klingon side, they've been doing kind of a series of them, and hopefully we can get into it. But as long as this thing holds up, then yeah, we can actually do this live recording. But that brings up the point that I am experiencing the Mac truck problem, meaning when we do these recordings, it's all set up from this particular machine location. So we need to, you'll be able to do it if you fix your internet issues.
Yeah.
And if when that happens, then we might look at getting you set up so that you can anchor this stuff. If I'm not available, somebody else can. And then just as many people as possible. That would probably be a good thing. Hey, take care.
So I just got to get figured out on that.
Figured out is a simple past tense to figure out.
They only got you when it comes to anchoring this is there's a software setup, and it took a while to get everything just right. But you do need a little bit of horsepower on the PC because of the encoding and stuff like that. And so, yeah, with your upgrade, you may have exceeded the threshold by now. So we'll see.
Like I said, right now, this appears to be an external issue. I really haven't put anything through here to challenge what the clocking is these days.
Okay.
Mr. Page, get rolling in any case.
Yeah.
I fixed my Minecraft server issues.
Okay.
The problem with them, my Minecraft Java edition is that it's no longer Java.
What is it?
Oh, let me check my downloads. OpenJDK.
That's still Java, just a different flavor.
Yeah. But yeah, you needed Java 16, and I only had Java 9 or 8. I only had the most recent version of Java. I didn't know.
Here's the drama that I think hit you. Java, of course, was originally written by Sun and Oracle, and for the longest time, they just open sourced it. In a manner of speaking, people all the time would download and install it. But written deep in the license was the requirement that you pay, but nobody did, at least not many. And they ignored it for years. Finally, though, they said, okay, if you're an institutional user, an educational institution, a company, something like that, you need to pay. If you're downloading and installing Java past Java 8U211, I think it was. That was some years ago. So what happened is many of those institutional users, including the Fayetteville City Schools, froze themselves at 8U211 in order to be able to continue to use Java. But the problem is Java is one of the buggiest pieces of software in the land, security-wise, so that you suddenly lose the ability to install security updates past that. And it got worse and worse over time. Thus rose the open source alternatives, and that's what you just talked about. So those folks follow what is released as open source by Sun and Oracle and create institutional platform binaries. And that's what you just installed. So it is effectively Java of Java 16, what have you, as opposed to Java 8, which was the last freebie. So you're getting the benefit of the continued security updates, but you're getting it from an open source. So you're not having to pay fees. And more institutional users that used to just throw Java on there for whatever reason are beginning to migrate to that. Apparently it's so too as Minecraft. Yeah, so that's the backstory there.
Simultaneously, it migrated from a Mojang account to my Microsoft account. So I had to shuffle through passwords and had all these nice little errors. And Ava was wanting me to play, and I got it all straightened out today, and we were on there for a while.
Great technical difficulties. Copper is the modern nightmare. I remember, just as a corollary to that story, calling Oracle up and asking, okay, so I've got this stuff installed on however many thousands of machines. How much would it cost me to license it? And we're a school. We're a tiny little public school. And they said, oh, just give us $10,000 a year. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
What was your budget?
Zero.
No. What was the school's total budget?
The Fayetteville City Schools annual budget was $13.5 million a year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but still $10,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, seriously, $10,000. You had to. There were times that I had to go to accounting to get a USB cable, a $5 USB cable. I had to beg.
Did you have 3 vendors for that?
Yeah. So the bureaucracy occasionally was ridiculous. Not always. I mean, that wasn't always the case. There were some times that folks were very cooperative. And then you had the flip side. Folks would go out and get things computer related and then say, hey, we just spent $100,000 on blah system. Would you do magic, make it work? And then we'd have to tell them, no, this isn't compatible with XYZ because it's this or that. So there goes $100,000 poof because nobody bothered to ask the question. Let's work with our stuff.
A teacher comes back from in-service with a 4-foot tall stack of CDs, and we get a thing. Would you please come install my software?
No. I'm sorry, guys. You guys think we're made of time. I remember a fella, and I know I've told you guys this story, but for our viewing audience of none, there was a conflict at the mortgage company I worked at. And so I had the vice president of the project managers in IT, how do you miss Peg? And the president of the retail department, and they're just going at it. And what shut down the argument is the project manager finally point blank told him, oh yeah, sure, we'll have all of those printers up and running by tonight because IT are magical fairies. And the guy just kind of. The amazing thing about this one fella that was the project manager is he could say anything with a perfectly straight face. He could say, there's a parade of pink polka dot giraffes outside right now. And you might believe him because he's perfectly sincere. So it was quite an interesting moment. But yeah, IT are magical fairies. So sure, we'll install your 4-foot tall CD stack. No problem. Let me just wave the magic wand and say the word. Okay.
Stand for the abraca bullshit.
Abraca bullshit.
I remembered the third of the Minecraft issues. Ava was like, I can't do multiplayer anymore. I can't log into multiplayer. She migrated her password from Mojang to Microsoft for Minecraft, and it says, "Oh, you're under 13," and blocked.
Oh yeah.
But fortunately, it was her supervisor. So I went in and found her. It's like, oh, I can do that. I can fix that. So I got the server running and fixed that. And I go, okay, log in. She goes, I can't log in. I can't log in. Oh, I logged in.
So you still got the Abraca bullshit mojo going. Yeah, it's all good.
There you go. There's the word of the day. Thank you, Peg.
Tonight's episode brought to you by tonight's word, abracadabulshit.
So, with that said, we're going to do abracadabulshit in Traveler. If folks have no objection.
Yeah,
We'll
Matt,
pick up.
service truck sitting over when I pulled up last night, so he was ready to broadcast.
That's right. Yeah. So hopefully things are going to be much better this week. We didn't have I didn't put up the kind of chopped, garbled mess that of lasting one. I didn't even post it. So there's going to be a bit of a gap story-wise. They'll live. But you guys, you got to experience the whole garbled mess up to the point that we are right outside this tower. So I'll just wait for folks to wander in. He said he was effectively AFK. He's working on something. Wander in whenever he can. And I'm not sure where Neff is.
I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
Yay.
It's Neff. Yeah, there he is.
What was the weapon that I picked up last game?
Let's see. Your Gauss rifle. Oh, yeah, hang on. I was going to explain that one. Okay, good point. Let me look it up. Let me go here and over here. Gotta find this silly thing. Turns out that there are a lot of Traveler books. Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. The ASW. Advanced Support Weapon. Tech level 10. It does 46 super armor piercing. So think heavy machine gun.
Yeah.
Tripod mount. You're not going to be hip firing that thing.
Is there somebody else who can fire it?
It just needs a gun combat slug rifle.
Okay.
So as long as you have that gun combat skill, you can manage it.
I wasn't concerned about him. He's got his Gauss rifle. 5d6 super armor piercing. Yeah, super AP minus 10.
Super AP minus 8, but it's also a repeating.
Yeah. You can fire more rounds with that.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay. Looks like we have the game in game. So we shall pick up where we left off. This is the new and improved version of the thrown together tower map. There's actually something under the black now instead of a generic building. Yes, before the entrance is where the well is. Hold on. I need to put my mouse. Yeah, there we go. I can't point on the hangout. For some reason that won't let me do that. Yeah, but over here I can. Now, just as a quick place setter, everybody remembers that there's fighting in the streets. The battle to retake Rithipol is on. And you folks were headed to one of the 2 anti-air defense towers to try to secure it. A secondary / primary thing for you is to find some way to get comms to the Rithipol or the bare necessity so you can use those override keys that you were given earlier on. You remember about those? Okay, so let me do a reminder.
I remember them now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So earlier on, let me see if I still have that map. I do. Let me, we have the shimmering memory effects going back into the past, just as a reminder. But with this group, as things were getting bad, you'd managed to go to Kassenbaum Gardens in the northwest part of the city. And you met a couple of folks there that are not currently on the map. But let me put them back on the map. 2 of the High Council members. This was before that it was clear that things were going south in a really bad way. But these folks suspected. Those 2. And they are, let me find them here for you. Harriet Singh, who is the leader of the flights, and Stannis Mile, the leader of the decks. And did I show them to you? Yeah. Oh, well, whatever. And you had a discussion with them that they suspected that this business with declaring martial law and was actually rotten. And they suspected they weren't going to be free for very much longer, because if they were right, the leaders need to be rounded up. So to avoid a lot of bloodshed, they were planning on turning themselves in, but they wanted to give you a way out. And that's when Harriet Singh handed you a pair of data chits with override codes for the Necessity and the Rithipol. They were specifically designed to prevent those two ships from being stolen or used in a way opposed to Rithipol Landing's interests. And they are full override codes. You just need to be able to talk to the ship, but you haven't been able to because they've got comms locked down. All right, so that's your reminder of that you have those things. Back to the West Side Story. I'm hoping that maybe you'll be able to find some sort of comms gear still that's running in here. It's one of the few military installations in the city, and it has advanced comms equipment. So maybe you'll be able to find a laser, something like that, to break through the jamming that you have. But when you arrived, it was strangely quiet, and the buildings surrounding it, the homes and waterfront areas, were ransacked and damaged. So clearly the bad guys have been through here. You don't see people. You saw a couple of bodies, like in here, in this building. But there's no activity coming from the tower itself. You don't see people up top manning it. The rockets are deployed, and they're pointed in the general direction of the starport, but they're not, from you'd be able to tell, they're not active. They're not tracking. You don't see, the radars not going. Any of that stuff is silent. It looks like somebody turned on the system but never actually engaged it. So, what's next? Where you going?
All right. Sid's going to check out that way, and then he's going to, if that's clear, he's going to say, "Hey, tell somebody, watch our backs," and he's going to go over this way and see what you said. There was a pathway between those buildings. He wants to.
Yeah, that pathway right here.
Oh, that pathway.
Between these buildings. Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's going. He's trying to go through there. And what does he see?
Okay.
Is there a wall here?
So you're headed kind of around through there, and there's a wall. So in order to get in, you would have to go that way.
Okay, that works. That works. So here, looking up, what do I see?
Roll an intelligence check. And anybody else that's going to go with Sid, do the same.
I think we all believe that the people that killed all the townspeople were like hiding, just making sure no one used this place.
That's right. That was your theory at last point. So let's see here what you got here. That's good enough. There's a lot of noise, but it's not coming from the tower. All the noise is coming from the east and the north and the south. It's the battle ongoing in the city, but this section of the city is really quiet.
Sniper.
If there were a sniper, you would have expected to have been sniped on your way here.
Yeah.
I'll just that's a freebie. Did we lose Mr. Pegg? We lost Mr. Pegg. Okay.
We lost Mr. Pegg a few minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not looking. Well, we won't. Hopefully, he'll be back soon, and we won't get to the critical part before he does. All right. So, what would you like to do next?
There and wait for everybody else to catch up, and before we go in.
Okay.
I do a Kool-Aid man and go straight through the walls to get to where I'm at, saying, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah." And surprisingly, it has the dramatic effect, and nobody shoots you, so that's a very positive outcome. All right, so everybody lined up against that wall for the firing squad. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check. You're not said. You've already done yours. We'll give everybody else a chance. Wow, it's very okay. Yeah. We are
not smarter than the average bear.
There we go. My God. Okay, yeah. It's all looked clear. There's your entrance. Because the tower is military in nature, yeah, it's there is that entrance, and that's pretty much it. Now it looks like Mr. Babe may be on his way back. How would you like to proceed? Oh yeah, you came around front, so you can see this now. The doors are blasted open.
I can't see the doors from here.
Yeah, you can. You just walked up to the front entrance. So I'll go and reveal this. Howdy, Miss Peg. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, Chrome decided to update and it froze my audio and everything else.
Yeah, it's all good. We haven't really gotten to the good part yet. They're just feeling their way into the tower.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, so far it looks all clear. All right. So yeah, once you get around that corner, you do see that the doors have been blasted open inward. So clearly it was forced entry from the outside. That makes sense given the situation. Let me, come on, where's my review? There we go. I found it. All right, really not much to see, but there you got this interior entrance hallway. That was like and again, forgive my lack of like a desk and such like that, but there is a desk in the little waiting area, some chairs, and all that's been ransacked and blown the hell away as people force their way in. Roll. Actually, here, let me make one point here. So the secure area, you can't see that. I can't see that. How in the hell are you supposed to see that? Let's do this. This is better. Yeah, it's not better. Not having any luck here. Let me find something dark. Yay! Okay. The secure area is south of that line. That would have been the area that you would have had to. There's an initial checkpoint you had to go through, and then you had the armed guards that were in the area here. There are apparently none there now, and the entrance here into the secure area as well as in deeper into the complex, all those have been blown open. Yeah, so this place got you do see a body in here. There was an armed guard and they got shot. They had their weapon on them. They were firing back whenever all this happened. So you go here. All right. So let's reveal a little bit more. Okay. So that would give you this. Roll anybody who has a biology related science. Let's just say your best science roll. How about that? Okay. Okay. That didn't go so great. Okay. And survival, yeah, that's good. I know that Ron, not Isaac, should have a pretty good survival skill, so go ahead and roll that as well. That'll work. Okay, we'll give part of this to Ron. Ron, it's pretty clear that this is an abnormally large amount of blood and gore. Before it seems to lead, draw, freehand, into an elevator here. And then the other part of this is this. Nobody knows what the hell that is, but it looks like the floor has been, and it is a sturdy, think tech level 12 concrete constructed building, so it's tough. But somehow the floor has been buckled up in a way, and this almost silver scaly like just thing has pushed up from beneath.
Scaly like the ships?
Oh, yeah. Now, you, the players, know that, but these characters don't. They've never encountered that before, unless you succeeded in your science roll, that is, which you didn't. So here's a case where you, the players, know something that the characters do not.
Gotcha.
But yes, that is, in fact, something, yeah, that you've seen before. But these characters are like, what the hell is that? But there it is. And Sid, you're up front. What's really giving you the woolies about it is that it appears to be moving. It's not just sitting there, it's moving. It's like it's undulating.
It's alive, folks. Cover me.
No.
Tumble past
Okay.
me.
Okay. Why don't you roll that? Find a skill and roll it, and hopefully you don't roll right into the gore because that's gory.
Ah!
You roll right into the gore. It doesn't seem to react to your presence. You do touch it, given that roll, but it doesn't seem to react to you. Good or bad. And yeah, you end up tumbling into the gore a bit. Because of that, you're getting an unexpectedly close look. Roll an intelligence roll. Or actually an education roll, just a base education. Oh, pretty good. Okay. Body parts, torn limbs. From at least 2 different races, humans and Aslan. Torn limbs that were torn off the body. Now, the elevator entrance it's in one of those, one door is fastened closed, the other door is slanted. So there's a triangular entrance at the bottom, and you can see sparks and a flickering light coming from the inside. Now, anybody with an engineering mechanic type role? Okay. Ron thinks it was designed that way. Oh, that's good.
I don't think bugs could do this.
Yeah. Those teeny little things that crawl around?
Bugs with
Yeah.
rocket launchers.
Big bug. Let's see. The mechanic. Okay, we'll do the mechanic roll. And the jack of all trades, I get it. So, yes. Whatever did the ripping of limbs is probably also what did the ripping of door. These doors are blast door, hydraulically sealed. They are very strong, and so something to have ripped off part of it is impressive. And no, you're not able to make it any wider, but you can crawl through if you want.
Oh, I don't know.
This is our best bet for communication gear. Is there another way up besides the elevator?
Yes, but you would have to get into this area past the door to get to it. But yeah, they would certainly have had a ladder or stairs or some emergency access. But it's inside the bunker structure.
Doors right there?
Yeah, these were doors that were blasted in. So this was the original entry by the Aslan, you would think. But these doors were ripped open, not blasted. And this is the bunker entrance. This is where you actually get to the elevator that goes up to the tower. Everything out here is a security checkpoint.
And you said we could crawl into here?
You could.
Listen and then do it.
Okay, roll your intelligence. And anybody else with kind of a sensing skill, intelligence or recon or something like that. This is the listening at the door thing. Ooh, wow. Okay. So you spend a few seconds just listening, which is wise, given how strange you suddenly turned. And you hear the sound. Is
that a human coughing on his own blood, or is it something else coughing on his blood?
Biology. You can try an education roll. That's hard if you don't have a biology, science, or medical skill. Investigate. Okay, that's a good one to try. That's a pretty good roll. Yep. Okay. Actually, sounds like wow. Okay.
Educated, yes.
It sounds like an Aslan.
Furball.
It sounds like a furball. That's right.
Emphysema. COPD for 200, Alex.
All right. I whisper, we're coming through.
It's like they try to stop breathing, but they can't quite manage it given their injuries. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to come through. Here's what let me find it here. Oh, there we go.
And I have left the tripod mounted weapon over here.
Okay.
I'm just using my, oh my. Not pretty.
So The elevator, here's what, and let me try to do my drawing here. Use my super drawing skills. Abraca bullshit, the man said.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, down here, that's the entrance to the elevator. It's totally wrecked. This area here is kind of a waiting area. It's got a place you might come down to get refreshments, something like that. Crew mess.
I haven't seen the last two. This area here, as you said.
Okay, hang on.
Are you pinging or something?
Let me try that. Okay. This area, how about here? That I just revealed.
Yeah, or that pinged, yeah.
Okay. That's the crew waiting area. Refreshments mess. There's some chairs. They're all thrown around. You've got more of that, whatever it is, that's pushed up from below. Interesting thing. There are two gunners, and it looked like these guys were not prepared. They had sidearms, not like the guy that was in here who had a rifle. He was on guard. These guys were just crew that were taking a break. Looks like they put up a fight, so they went down early in all this, and they're long dead. Over here is that Aslan that's hacking up blood. He may have a tale to tell. And then you have thrown her out the room and kind of edited for time and sanity are bodies with the torsos of those bodies that you've seen, arms and legs outside. It's a mess in here. It's a terrible mess. Other things. This guy here, part of him is resting on whatever this thing is, this kind of silver scaly thing is, and it looks like it's slowly absorbing him. That up to his head and most of his left shoulder and arm are actually submerged in it. Even though it's solid, you know that because you touched it briefly. Part of him is actually inside of it, but it's not like quickly gobbling him up or anything.
Move him to see if it's eating him or if he's sinking into it.
He can't move. You try to move him, and he appears to be buried in whatever it is.
At the intersection, is it stuck like glue, or is it poke his cheek with my gun? See if the metal moves with the skin.
What you can see and touch behaves normally. So yeah, the metal, you're able to move and press against the bone and stuff like that. And if you use some object to try to poke at the scaly substance, it appears fairly rigid, except for the fact that it's slowly undulating.
Right. Don't go to sleep on that thing.
Yeah.
Look for another way up.
Question. You want to interact with the guy that's...
Oh, I'm sorry, medic. Yeah, the first thing he says when he gets there is medic.
Okay. So somebody with medical type skills, you want to approach the Aslan?
This is the group of people with guns, not the group of people with bandages.
Yeah, that's right. I was one. Somebody has jack of all trades, though. I like what Ron, not Isaac's comment there. Pretty good. So Janice approaches the guy, and this is I don't have a particular picture prepared for him. Aslan, male, pretty young. It's typical of the other Aslan that you've seen that have not infiltrated as gunners, that took the role of city police essentially. This one's wearing the hodgepodge of things, bits of space suits, bits of armor, old armor, different armor pieces, even from probably different ships and eras. A wild collection of equipment, and he's holding what looks to be an old laser pistol. And very shakily, only with one eye, you can't see quite the damage it's causing him to squeeze his other eye shut. Very shakily in your direction, wheezing at you. You don't need to roll it, but it's pretty clear that the laser pistol's energy has been long. It doesn't have any shots left. He
Okay.
emptied it.
I'll just, if it's pretty obvious that the laser is drained, ignore that. And
Okay.
who's Aslan playing right now?
Who's Aslan's thing right now? What?
Aslan.
Sid.
Sid. Sid, cover me. I
Yes,
see
sir.
if I can stop him from bleeding out.
Okay. So with that Jack of all trades roll, here's what you get. The wounds that have caused him to crawl into the corner and hide look to have been claw marks. You see these 3 long, jagged claw marks that start up here and have basically scalped him, ripped off an ear, and taken out that eye. That's why he's got squeezed shut, and went down his upper chest into his stomach. So he's got very serious injuries, but it was just from one swipe. Whatever it had claw marks, that 3 claws that were at least sharp enough and deep enough to go several inches into the body, then the claws themselves were about 6 inches apart.
Mm.
And it went like, whoa, one swipe. And he sees, you take the gun away from him, and you can see him. He's trying to shoot, click, but no response. Take the gun away, and he resists you at first with his one good arm, click, but he just can't keep it up. And as you start to treat his wounds, it was a pretty good roll. You hear him say one word, or kind of wheeze one word, Thrasmus. Thrasmus. Anybody a linguist?
I think that was the name of his sled when he was a boy.
That's right. Rosebud. Wow. Okay, go Janice. That's good enough to get it. So, Thrasmus is Aslan. It is a mythical demon. One of the Aslans, and that wasn't a culture roll, just to give a little background to it. One of the Aslan hierarchs, kind of end stories like Ragnarok, involves a mythical demon called Thrasmus coming and destroying the hierarch. And that's what he's wheezing, Thrasmus.
Did this to you?
He just nods. And let's see. You are helping him. See if he's going to be more talkative.
Why would he name his childhood sled after a mythical demon?
They put claws and things on it and made it look really Raz. Yeah. Or rather, Thraz. Yeah, he doesn't have much else to say. But the rest of you, intelligence checks. See if he sees anything useful here. That's pretty good. That's really good. That's really good. And what do you got there, C?
Sorry about that. What am I after?
Intelligence check.
Okay, I missed the call.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
I
we
figured.
agreed to only roll 7s, guys.
Yeah, that's right. You're breaking the rules here.
I'm still sucking.
Oh, tried to hold up the 7 rule. Right. Okay. You're getting your ones out of the way early. Everybody else is not. So yeah.
I had a couple of good ones in there.
Yeah. Let's see. Who got it? Real good.
I'll wait for a critical moment so I use my 1s. Thank you.
All right. So we'll give it to Janice again. You're fixing up. You're trying to fix up the guy, but it's not working. His wounds are just so severe that he lapses into unconsciousness, and you're pretty confident there's no helping him. But as he does so, he was holding on to that laser pistol with one good arm. Click. His bad arm, he was grasping onto something. He just couldn't move the arm, but he was able to grasp onto something, and he lets go. And you recognize it. It was the necklace that you remember. Let's see, find her again. Yeah, here we go. Harriet was wearing a necklace, and it had to do with the flights. It had the flight's insignia on it, that sort of thing. It was not all flights do that. That's just an affection of hers. That was Harriet's necklace. This guy's holding it.
This is not good.
You think they were an item?
No, I don't.
Ron, not Isaac, the master of the non sequitur. But I'm enjoying it.
It could be a star-crossed thing. She's a human. He's an Aslan.
No need to come up with an intro for it.
So you're saying the elevator looks wrecked.
Yeah, the elevator has been completely destroyed. But it may be possible to find another way up. There should be an emergency access stairwell if you can search for it. Okay. Roll it. That would be like an intelligence recon sort of thing. Investigate. Hey, we're back on track.
Nope, number 7. Damn it.
Yep. You do find it. It is securely locked. But given that intelligence roll, you come up with the thought that, well, hell, you've got these guys. Check them for keys. And sure enough, they did. They have access keys to gain access to the emergency ESENT device.
I guess that works too.
Okay. You had another plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have worked. You have the tool. You have the can opener. All right. So you guys proceed on up, I suppose. Let me find. There's probably no reason to dwell on this too much, but who goes first? Okay. So Sage, you climb up. And it's a good 40 feet to get to the top of the tower. The control area, access to the roof, that sort of thing. And like I said, I don't have a lot there, but you get to the control area, and you have to, of course, punch the panel out. So you may need to borrow the can opener briefly to do that, or at least the key. You have the key, however you want to do it. Louder.
Quiet. But yeah,
It looked.
Did we see an exit for the critter? No, we didn't open the Yeah, we didn't see an exit for the critter, that we. Never mind.
Yeah, actually, it could probably just as well gone out the way that you got in. The doors were already blasted open, so it didn't need to rip those open. But in the control area, and again, it's not well decorated on the map. Let me here, and we get the pointer thing here. This is, like you say, 40 feet up. There's another story above it where the actual battery is, the weapons themselves, which are highly automated. Normally, you don't have people up there. It's just the weapon. Somebody in this room pokes a button, and the weapon goes and shoots. Problem is that all the consoles in here have been ransacked. Somebody came in here and blew the place up. But this probably was the original attack. Come in here and disable the thing. And they did so explosively. You see a couple of other bodies, people on duty. But you do not see more gore. That's a relief. You're searching for comms, you say.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what you can come up with. Yeah, it's toasty. Anybody else want to try?
What can Sid see from up here?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. That's pretty good. All right, let's see what that gets you, Chris. Okay, looks like the local arrays, the controls for the local arrays are down. Given some time, you're pretty confident you could come up with something that resembles a local comms array, but you're not sure if it would be jammed or not, because you're not. You all so far is that you haven't been able to use comms. You don't know why. So just having a comms capable device doesn't mean that you'll be able to use comms. So what you do have that might prove you quite useful is you have a orbital laser comm.
Bounce off of that.
Maybe not orbital. That's not quite the right word for the ring world, but space bound. Let's say it points up.
More like geosynchronous.
Yeah, something like that. We got to come up with new words, for what's going on here.
Anti-spacecraft?
It is a laser that would shoot a spacecraft, yeah, but it wouldn't shoot it down. So what do you want to do with that?
I'm going to see if I can reconfigure it.
You're not going to be able to use it to communicate directly with anything nearby.
Gotcha.
But you might be able to try to talk to something that's up there someplace.
I'm sending out a distress call, maybe.
Okay. Anybody have comms? So your
Janice does.
Takey type has managed to get something that works, but it points up. So does anybody have comms that can try to see if there's something up there to talk to? All right. Let's see. So there was a ship that was pretty much directly above Rithipol Landing, but that was the ship that jumped out earlier. So you may remember that in the story. Of course,
Yes.
may not. It's been a while. So that ship, of course, is not there. That would have been the one that you knew about. Let's see. Let's see how lucky you are. Okay. There actually is another ship that's in that position right now. You're not sure what it is. It's the laser comms link up. You're trying to talk to it was the Trinity, but you get another ship instead. They don't respond with a transponder, or at least not one that makes sense. What do you want to do?
What was that response? I missed it. Cut out on me.
We don't have a transponder.
I see.
So the Trinity Holcomb was the large freighter that was basically geostationary, for lack of a better word, directly above or sunward is the word of Rithipol Landing. It was the ship any ship that launched from Rithipol or the shipbreaking yard would go to it to refuel. It was basically the high port for this area. But it jumped out. Something happened to it and it jumped some time ago. So it's not there anymore, but you use the pre-configured, call the ship, click, because it's the first button on the dial, as it were, and you get a response. There is a ship up there, but it's not the Trinity Holcomb, and it doesn't tell you who it is.
Does it give us 5 musical tones?
Yeah. So how do you want to proceed with that information?
I make a plate of mashed potatoes and shape it like a mountain.
That increases
This is
the risk.
who is this?
There's a significant delay.
We're
No,
fine
second.
here. How are you?
And you do get a voice finally that comes back and says, identify yourself first.
Hi, I'm Janice.
Are you a citizen of Rithipol Landing? Could you give your identification number? Everybody's got a card, and yeah, it's government.
Sure, it's not like they're going to steal my ID.
Yeah, that's right. Only 10,000 people. And there's another bit of a delay. All right, Janice, how can I put this? Can you talk freely?
Yes.
That face appears. So, are you in Rithipol right now?
Yes.
This seems to indicate that you're talking to us from one of the defense towers. What's the situation? Can you tell us?
There's fighting in the street.
And you see him kind of go on.
There are strange Aslan down here.
Yeah, the Relemica people. We're aware of that.
The who, the what people? Never mind.
No, if you're stuck in the middle of it, it's worth telling you. Apparently, there's a colony of Aslan elsewhere on the ring world, led by a Aslan by the name of Relemica. And this is his doing. There's fighting in Rithipol. There's fighting in there was going to be fighting in the shipbreaking yard, but hopefully we've got that paused. So, are we winning? We've basically got no information at all from what's going on the ground in the city.
I look over and said, I'm not sure.
All right, Sid, you were going to look out of windows, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Couple of things. A surprise roll from Mr. Pegg. If you could have your cat roll your tactical roll. All right. So here's the situation. It looks like it's a mixed bag. There's a lot of consolidation of the enemy forces in the city center. In some places, though, things haven't gone so well. The Nova 61's battle dress squad was able to get there to support the militia, but not before the militia was pretty much wiped out on that bridge. Let me find the thing again.
Which was expected. These are
Yeah.
townsfolk.
And so they have taken the bridge, but it cost a lot. And let's do that there. You have not yet been able to push the mercs out of the academy, but you have taken the bridge. That mercenary group is there, and you got the battle dress and the gunners fighting around there. Let's see the gold. Those guys probably would have pulled in his reinforcements, I would think. Hey, look, they're bad guys here. They're killing us. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. The real disappointment is the strong resistance you're getting around the starport. You have managed to cut their forces down significantly, but you're also taking losses, so we'll call it blah here. So the fighting is really right there and terribly intense on the bridge. And that group probably is, they're still pinned inside the old academy by this group here. They're chasing each other, essentially. All right. In the city center, it looks like the bad guys are rounding up civilians. They've taken them, as they've had to give up ground in the city, they've taken the people with them. And it's pretty clear, Sid can see this. There are crowds forming around. There's museums and schools and the actual government buildings in the core. And there are hundreds of people that are there under guard. Let me move this around a little bit. Yeah. But at the same time, as with anything like this, the situation's fluid. You've made ground in some places, lost ground in others. It is by no means over. And I think, yeah, the golds are going to be moving towards the academy to try to help that here momentarily. Yeah. So it's very much still, it could go either way. And the thing that's most concerning you is what's going on around the city center. Because that could turn out ugly.
If Janice can plug in my weapon computer, I can pan it around and beam that up there and let them see everything like this.
Yeah, and that's a routine thing. No need to roll.
Okay.
So that is done, and they get this general overview of the situation. And Turner takes it all in and goes, yeah. And what's the status of the spaceborne weapons? Specifically talking about Rithipol, Bare Necessity, and a couple of other ships that have long-range space weapons that are in the starport. And as far as you can tell, they're just sitting there. They're not doing anything. Because you can see them. There's no problem with line of sight from where you're at. Other thing to note is you've got a Nova that's out in the bay, or rather over the lake. And it's probably several miles away now. It's actually looks like it's just chasing fishing ships. It's cleaning up possible pockets out there. And you're aware of a couple of other Novas that are allied Novas, but they're grounded right now because they don't want to get shot at. All right. So
Do I
all
have
of that.
a target?
What'd you say?
Do I have a target? I'm up here high in a tower. And I've got a nice weapon.
You have your Gauss rifle and the support weapon, but it looked from the state of the control room here, you don't have your missiles. It may be possible to go up there and work them manually, but that would take some more time to figure out.
Can you give me I need a direct comm link to Rithipol if possible.
The Rithipol herself.
Yes.
Okay, why?
Just in case somebody else says, just in case these Aslan have prepared and already taken her, I have the ability to take her offline.
I know there's not a lot of time, but could you at least give me an indication of how? Turner is, what are you talking about here? What's going on?
I was given shutdown codes. Tell them who gave me the shutdown codes.
Yeah, and that was the leader of the flags. Keep entering. Find it.
Harriet.
Yep. Well, he hears that, and he's much more, it's much more believable to him as something Harriet might have. I'll ask my people to get that set up. In the meantime, who's in charge of the ground troops down there right now? See if we can't break through to them, because I think if we can get these units, you're having comms problems locally. If we can use laser comms to get some of these units talking to each other from here, that might help the tactical situation greatly.
Tell him what we know about where he is.
Okay, and yeah, he's going to try to do that. So let's see here. Everybody that's in the tower, go ahead and let's get an intelligence, investigate, recon, something like that. It's all good. Those are all pretty good. Okay. Except for Ron. Ron's really practicing his ones and twos right now. He's still on the toboggan. And how the hell did that guy come up with that name?
It's like a weird thing for a kid to name his toboggan.
It is. It really is. And you get down to it. So what that gives you is a couple of things. Let me find it. Yeah, here we go. We'll do that. Give you a dark color. Okay. So you guys are down at the tower. And what you're seeing is that... Is he going to let me do this? Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay. From up here, you get a much better vantage point of that kind of silvery scaly effect is moving away. And actually, you can also see that it did not originate at the guard tower. Come on, what are you doing? But it continues off in that same line. It's just reasonably close, facsimile of a straight line. But whatever this thing is working its way up into the city, towards the city center. And it doesn't seem to be in a hurry, but you can actually see from the tower, the leading edge of it as it's pushing up the rock and any sort of obstructions in its way. And it just keeps on going. That's observation 1. Observation 2 is that at one of the more famous cultural attractions of the city, and let's see if I can find that one for you real quick. It's a place. It is, yeah, this guy. This is the inside of it. You're actually seeing the outside from the tower, of course. This is like the Smithsonian of Rithipol Landing, but it's also where most of the remains of those that have come before are laid to rest, usually cremated, but it's a combination of historical museum and it's right there downtown. It's also where most of the people are being forced to gather outside. And you can see on the outside, there are lots of statues and such like that, and fountains and exhibits. But
whoever made that statue had a terrible picture of Kalish.
I know. Hey, Janice got a good investigate roll. There's several, not just two, several characters of note. And let me give you people. Here we are. So there's Stannis, Zoe Kinnerick, who you may remember is the leader of the academics, and also the last surviving original crew member from the Rithipol. She was the hacker. Yeah. And Agatha. And they are all being held at gunpoint in front of a fellow that you haven't heard his name yet, but here's a picture of him, who is having words. He's addressing the crowd. Those three are up there on this elevated pavilion outside the longhouse. There's apparently a speechifying going on.
Filibuster.
That's some distance away, so you're not necessarily going to be sniping anybody, but you can make it out from up here. Okay, Janice first, Sid second. What were you saying, Janice?
Forgot. Com link to bare necessity. Same reason. We know bare necessity is in part of the starport that's controlled by these Aslan.
Okay. And then what was Sid saying? Okay, repeat all that.
I can't remember, so it must not have been important.
Okay, fair enough.
Is there a firing line? Is there a bunch of people up there with a line of gunmen?
Yeah, there are. Like I say, they're at gunpoint. That's not Aslan. What are you doing? Okay. Let me see if I set the scale up for this properly. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, it's 600 feet away, 2 buildings. That's a thing. These comm links are being set up. What are your intentions at this point?
I think we I'm certain that we need to shut down bare necessity. Because I'm certain that if anybody has control of it functionally, it's Rithipol, I'm not too sure of. I would think it would make sense to me that he would have said that whoever this is would have taken the time to take that into account, and that would be a place that would have been certainly, at the very least, taken off the board, if not taken over to be used as a weapon.
You would think so. These guys have been amazingly organized so far. Let's see how we go. Ooh, okay. So, Sid and Janice have really been paying attention. They're focused on tasks. John and Ron Not Eyes a sensing role, intelligence, recon, etc. Okay, you're keeping up your tradition there.
Oh yeah,
and you too. Okay. What they get you is that you're observing things. You're looking around too. You're not, sitting there watching these other guys do stuff. Let's see. Ron is still fixated on the toboggan.
Talking to him, I'm like, where would they even sled around here? It's not like there's a winner.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, John notices that this thing is moving. It is making its way, like at a walk, towards the city center.
it just looks like Bugs Bunny heading for Albuquerque. I don't know what.
Yeah, with that roll, that's all that you get for that. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So, Mr. Pegg, we had you playing a filler.
Yes.
Captain Vetrick. You get a surprise call. Your commo guy runs up to you and says, Captain, we're getting a call from a ship that shouldn't be there.
Patch me through.
All right. And you get patched through to the Major Turner. Skip a lot of time there. He fills you in as quickly as he can about his situation, the fact that we've captured a ship of theirs that has taken position where the Tristan Hokum used to be. That's why this lasercon is possible. And he relays what he's discovered from the group that took over the Western Tower. First off, the bloodbath that was inside, and this weird whatever it is that's crawling towards the city center, which they can confirm from their position. But now that it's been pointed out to them, they can see it. They don't know what it is. And the fact that you have 3 of the council that's under gunpoint in the city center with this one fella that's preachifying to a crowd. Don't know what's being said. They're trying to lock up comms with the Necessity and Rithipol. So far have not been successful, but apparently, and I don't think the Vetrick was aware of this, but apparently Janice has some way of neutralizing him remotely.
It probably comes as a shock to him, but thankfully he's on our side.
So the Major asks, is there anything that they can do for you? They're trying to get in contact with your various scattered forces. And that's the obvious thing. Is there anything else they can do? And by the way, what are they? Are an unarmed, very large tanker.
Mm-hmm.
The Yordle.
He knows he can't get more troops from them, but what they can give him in a tactical advantage communication may be the game changer in this.
Absolutely. So here's your chance to, given how things played out with that last roll, how would you like to try to move things now that you have better comms with your folks?
Okay. So we need to, for the time being, pull off pressure from the center. If they're backing up, they're going to fortify. We'll just be walking into a trap. This platoon here, let me ping it. So this platoon here, if we can try and help out these people, at least keep this road clear for the people in the tower. But if we can save those people, that'd be great. And we probably need to pull this group from here and have them come down to help free up the academy. And vice versa, have this group of militia just pose on that bridge. There's defenses
so that
there.
would look like this. All right.
Because once this gets freed up, we can put all attention to the gunner facility. Because right now it's just going to be bloodbath after bloodbath.
And that's what it's looking. Your adversaries are well trained, but you have the edge in equipment, but they have a bit more numbers, and they had the advantage of being able to set all this up ahead of time.
Yeah, and the other thing would be for the flight academy, for the cadets down there, that they have access to any sort of ground support vehicles that could help.
And let's see. I'd already determined they have a bunch of air rafts. That's how they train. That's not necessarily what you want. They could probably scrounge some stuff up from the gold area. There may be some vehicles that they could come up with, but it would take them a bit of time to do it. But they can do it, yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is that if we have to take the center, we may need that to quickly get civilians out.
Yeah, they understand that. The air rafts might actually work just as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those. If necessary, we'll have someone with a gun hanging out the door. But
yep.
If they're armed, it makes it easier.
So we'll say in a while, I think air rafts is their best bet. They're just going to move up this way and try to stay behind where you have. They can cross the river without a bridge. Those things, but they want not to be shot at, so they're just going to move along this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll eventually be at the bridge here.
And that'll probably be for the best. But yeah, the plan is once that academy gets taken, move all those forces over and down, and we can regroup that way.
Okay. So yeah, again, it's heavy fighting, particularly around now the academy, the academics, and you're stalemated right now at that bridge crossing into the starport area. So yeah, you've done what you wanted to. You relieve the pressure on the middle. Go ahead and roll your tactics. You don't get one roll for the whole thing because it's a lot going on. But we'll see. Okay, that's just an overall. The stalemate is the word of the day. All right. But you have advantage now because you have comms. So you had spotty comms before, but now you've got the Yorthal, and with laser comms, they can't block it. Whatever they were doing to block the other comms. So it's a good thing. All right. So they successfully get a hold of the bare necessity, but they cannot contact the Rithipol. Those were those rolls from before. I rolled a 2 on the Rithipol. And the necessity, when they're contacted by the Yorthal, remember the bad guys held control of the Yorthal, were expecting you get called by, immediately responded to from an Aslan who's expecting to talk to that one fellow who had the coffee cup. Was like, what? But gets a static from the Yorthal and a Abraca bullshit roll from the Major. Just trying to say, hey, our video isn't working. It's all staticky and fuzzy. And meanwhile, they call up Janice and say, okay, we've got the bare necessity. If you're going to do something, now's your chance.
Well, I'll send the shutdown codes to its computer.
So all you guys see as a result of setting that shutdown code is the comms go off. Click. You don't know whether it actually worked or not, but that's probably a strong indicator that it did. when you tell the thing to shut down, comms are a system on the ship that get shut down. All right. So with that and the inability to contact the Rithipol, what do you guys in the tower want to do?
Where is the bare necessity?
We're still looking at the big map. So it's over at the starports. Yeah, where that red square is, and I'm pinging it now. It's a museum piece. A museum piece who just rammed the reactor, but it's a museum piece.
Well, it's down for a while. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be down for the count, really.
Yeah. Thank you. We could go and support these guys here. But also, we could see what this thing is doing.
Okay.
You don't want to rig a missile on the ceiling?
Ooh. Ooh. Can we take one with us?
Probably kind of big.
They're big, yeah.
What do you want of what?
The Nova to the southwest?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, this will be fun. Mechanics rolls and electronics rolls. There's no problem getting access to the ceiling. There's no problem getting access to the controls, manual controls for the missile. It is powered on. It's
He
just
shot
not
me
under
in the
control.
dinghy. I want him to gone.
Oh no! Oh, that one was painful. It's good, but it's painful. Oh, the ones are done. Okay, so John steps up, and Janice is puzzling over the thing, and John does both of them. My gosh. So yeah, John's the man. John says, "Okay, we want to shoot a missile." Beep,
We finally got something in my wheelhouse.
beep, beep, beep. What are we shooting? That thing? It's essentially point blank range for these missiles. Okay. And the battery moves. Seems to indicate that it's locked on. Somebody have a gunner roll of any sort?
There's where it comes back.
That's where it comes back. Is okay. Yeah, you got it working, but it's Sid that actually say, "Oh yeah, hold on, I want to press the button." Do you indeed?
Press the button.
Okay. A couple of things happen in short order. The first is exactly what you want it to happen: missile launches.
The second thing we need to do is get the hell out of here because we just made ourselves a target.
The missile flies. You made the roll. The missile flies true. Roll 3d6. That's missile damage. Okay. That's more than enough to take out a Nova. Novas are 50-ton, non-jump capable spaceships, and they do not have the hull and armor of these, even like the Bare Necessity, which is a 200-ton jump capable freighter. So that missile, and it hits. There's a beautiful explosion, and it just immediately dives into the lake. Now, you said you wanted to get out shortly after that. Those were your exact words. So how do you want to try to get out? Okay. So as you're climbing off of the access platform for the battery, that's when the Rithipol opens up on you with lasers. So you're climbing down, and you just... That whole tower rocks under the impact of multiple laser impacts. They just keep coming. And the thing is quickly being ripped apart. So let's have a dexterity roll and see how quickly and safely and efficiently you can extricate yourself from this death trap. There we go. We're averaging 7. Oh my God. Ron gets out.
Yeah.
Ron's been practicing diving out of windows today.
For no particular reason.
He started off getting thrown out of his apartment. Then he got shot off of a boat.
Ain't much better either. Shit.
Okay. So, okay. Let's just go down through the list. That's Sid, 6 points of damage. Janice, 2. John, 4. And Ron made it out. Okay. And that's from the tower collapsing around you as you're trying to get down and out. So one more trench to try to get out before bad things really happen. The damage just keeps going up as you don't make it out. Okay? And bleh. What else?
Nope.
Janice, you're good. Let's see what John rolls. Whoa, hello.
Yeah, I'm dying.
All right.
Well, I got 2 characters.
That's why you get 2 characters. That's right.
Yep. Shit.
Oh, wow. Your dex, Aslan. We'll give you your survival a chance to mitigate your damage if you don't succeed. Nope. Okay. Okay. So that's 8 points to Sid, 4 points to John. Where does it put you?
Yeah, I was about to ask, do we have hit points?
Those your 3 physical stats are your hit points.
It starts right to left.
You start with endurance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it wipes me out on endurance. But
So how much did I take?
So far, you've taken 8 plus 6.
Out of endurance and down to a 4 dexterity.
Okay. And how about John?
yeah, it has me out of endurance. I'm still good on the other 2.
Okay. Both of you make survival rolls. That technically has you down. You're injured.
Emphasis on making.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sid doesn't have that skill.
Okay. So what we'll say is that you guys are, that means that you're not fully mobile and you're almost unconscious. We'll say, just to kind of reality twist things, that survival roll means that you're able to act, but you've probably broken legs at this point. Actually, hold on. You got armor on both of you, DR.
Yeah.
DR8 armor.
I got 14.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I got combat armor.
Okay. If it's 14, then this would be just straight up damage resistance against that. None of the damage you've taken.
Protection 16.
None of the damage you've taken so far has gotten through that.
Okay.
But you still needed those survival rolls because to avoid being trapped under rubble as the thing's collapsing. So give me another dexterity roll.
All
Set
right.
your health back to full because the armor is protecting you so far.
All right.
But it's just going to get worse as you fail. It is ridiculous. Yeah. Okay.
Magic number 7 yet again.
So for Sid now takes 13 points of damage. And Chris takes 13 points of damage.
Ron's
rolls-
outside wondering why they keep running back and forth in the security room.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're just, with rocks hitting them on the heads and everything. Okay, survival roll. I think you got 2 more turns before the Rithipol decides that the tower is toast. Okay, Sid is pinned under rubble at this point. And let's see what state John's in. John, you're still okay. So Sid, you automatically take this one. It's still under your armor DR, right? But you still
Yes.
make another survival roll. Okay, you're still trapped under rubble. Make a dexterity roll, Chris, to see if you get out. And yes, emphasis on the make.
Yeah,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
You've fallen and you can't get up.
something like that.
Okay, and roll your what do we see? Your survival to see if you're not pinned. And wow, you take 8, so you're still okay. And you're pinned. So you're both going to take this, Sid and John. So John looks like a little bit of that got through. Now, combat armor is a spacesuit. It has its own oxygen breathing system. So being trapped under rubble does not mean that you're unable to breathe. And the combat armor has enough strength. It's rigid enough that you're able to expand your lungs and such.
Yeah.
Even with the weight of this rubble above you. Those of you that made it out, realize that you're the only 2 that made it out. Those 2 are still in there. But the firing has stopped because the tower is gone.
Yeah.
And by the way, Captain, you recognize that? You saw that too. Mr. Pegg, you saw a missile come out, take out that Nova. Great! And then the Rithipol just destroyed the tower.
Yeah, but the Nova gone, I pretty much showed up on the line, hey, local enemy Nova down. Enemy air defenses may be null except for
The Rithipol.
the Rithipol.
Yeah. So they're the captains of the two Novas are still. We don't want to risk it with the Rithipol guns live. And
Well,
obviously,
that's why I'm kind of telling us if you see that blip gone, just know there's another blip.
yeah, gotcha.
This thing's firing. So it's more or less a warning, kind of an update / warning. So don't take off.
They won't. Still ground.
I will start carefully, very carefully, trying to carve stuff off to get to them.
Okay. Roll your excavation skill. Sorry. That's strength, weapon. How about your weapon skill with that? We'll give you that. And Ron, Isaac, seeing the spectacle of artificial laser light, how do you want to proceed in this?
I'll point out which ones not to like cause things to collapse and stuff.
So when we get Ron, Isaac to focus on something, he really can. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Between the two of them, we'll say that it takes several minutes, but you folks are hooting and hollering inside. Hey, we're here.
Ow.
And yeah, lights.
And the tunnel leading to us is sculpted and everything. Ooh, beautiful arches.
So yeah, Ron, Isaac, and the can opener, Will, and Janice are able to pull you out, but it takes a while.
In the meantime, without the Nova harassing them, the fishermen of the lake are able to work together and sail upon the Rithipol.
If that's the plan, they can do that.
Looks like a scene out of Waterworld. Yeah, okay.
Or Dunkirk. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually something to think about if you guys want to proceed that way. All right. So you've managed to get out. You're alive and kicking outside the ruins of this thing. So what's your next move? Rithipol is clearly in enemy hands.
Yeah, I still want to go in this area.
Okay, hang on. Let me just zoom out and see where you're headed. Okay, go up here. Got it. You guys all agree with that?
Sounds good.
Okay. So as you make your way up that way, you see a couple of other clues that there's something more going on. You see a couple of enemy Aslan patrols similarly gouged. Make an investigate check. Let's see if you pick this up. And we'll use that as your marker. Any sort of noticing things type skill.
I'm working on it.
And we're back to our 7s. We're very consistent on 7s. Ooh, 5. Wow. Okay, you guys don't notice. Okay.
We're all going to die.
Pretty much. So not going to get into big combat here, but you've got 3 groups surrounding this one group, this one platoon. So essentially your squad versus that platoon, but you have 2 other allied platoons applying pressure from the other side. So with you showing up and, hey, surprise, we're here, flanking them, yeah, that rolls them up pretty quick. So we'll say that's the deal. All right. So that's success. Other thing, this silvery whatever that's walking up and through buildings is clearly headed right for the city center. It doesn't much care for you. It doesn't react to you at all, unless you're going to try to poke it some more.
Did you said it was killing mostly Aslan as it went?
No, it's not doing anything. The silvery stuff isn't, and you haven't seen
claws. The claw
what's
marks.
been doing with the claws. Yeah, claw marks have been. And you haven't seen the critter that's attached to those claws yet. You don't know what that is. So a couple of things. You can ask the fishermen for a lift out to Rithipol if that's what you want to do. They're willing to do it. And they've got gunners there that can, help support that. You have this thing that you're investigating that you've now caught up with. And then you have pretty much an open line to the city center. You could join that crowd of people that's been pushed in there by the bad guys if you wanted to. Of course, the bad guys might notice big weapons and combat armor. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's like I stand out in a crowd.
Yeah, you do, especially. For the halberd, that might work. He's just really tall. That's all.
I was thinking for the armor, but that's works for the helper too.
He's my scarecrow buddy. Don't mind the hat singeing a little bit. It does that.
I don't know. The arrival of that silver thing may give us an opportunity at the city center if it creates a distraction.
I don't see a Rithipol letting anything drive up to it.
Yeah, they've got pretty clear visibility on the lake. But the big guns can't necessarily engage anything on the lake either, especially a small boat. That doesn't stop people on the surface though shooting at you though. That's you get on the hull and bang.
I don't think we're not going to sneak up on the Rithipol.
Shock and awe.
You hear an exclamation from the crowd at the city center, and you turn, and that Stannis Mile, the leader of the Decks, has just been shot, and he's hanging. He was tied to one of the statues, and he's just hanging there. You don't know if he's alive or dead, but there's a pretty big wound, center mass. Probably been shot dead. You're close enough you can make out some of what's being speechified. So if you want a few seconds of that, I don't think you want the whole. You're not going to wait for the whole clip. Let's see here. That again is this guy. Who is the one, by the way, that just did the shooting. You need not share his fate. The hierarchy needs strong workers, not leaders, not stoics. We need you humans, you heathen Aslan, and others. You will form the backbone of our return to the stars, the rise of the new Hierarchy under Relemica. You may think of yourselves as slaves. That would not be untrue. But be more cooperative than him, and we will treat you well. Shall I assassinate another one of your leaders to prove my point? Her, perhaps? Points at Singh, who is just still gaping at, just in shock. And her, perhaps? Points at Agatha, who just stares him dead in the face.
Yeah. With the two groups here, Sid is going to indicate that he's going to book it in the direction of the square, and with his guns blazing.
Okay.
Disrupt them before they can kill anymore.
So there's a lieutenant that's in charge of this Rithipol Gunners platoon,
right?
Who says, "Just hang on a second, hold up." And then the captain. You get a quick report from that platoon up here that was reinforcing the fishermen. They've taken out, with the help of the player party, that group there. So we'll get them off the map. But now they see that somebody at City Center is starting to assassinate the council, and there's a lot of they want to go get them. I want to go get them too, but there's a lot of people in the way.
So the captain's literally scratching his head. Oh my God, this is getting worse all the time. And he goes, hold on. So at this point, he does like a really cool check on all units. Hey, status report right now. What's happening?
All right, let me
clear up the board a little bit.
Clear up the board for you. Those guys are out. They're still working on the academy, and the report you get from the academy real quick is they have goals. They're extracting artifacts from the labs. That's what they're after. They're killing a lot of people, anyone that's in their way. So we're just telling the researchers, just get out of the way. And they're being spared. What they want is artifacts, and they're not real specific about it. They're just going grocery shopping, grabbing anything shiny. So that's what's going on at the academy. And there's a lot of fighting within the walls. The flight cadets are in position. They've got 24, we'll call it air rafts, each one capable of carrying up to 10 people. So a lot of people. They're staged on just that side of the river. This group has abandoned the bridge they were on and is headed to the city center. So it's like you feared. They've consolidated. The city center group is pretty much just around the government area, surrounding and among a group of perhaps up to 1,000 civilians that have been forced there. That's 1/10 of the population of the city. Your other groups, this group that was stabilizing the cities, the working area, the working living area, is unengaged. The groups over here just finished their engagement. They're free. These two are out. And you're still heavily engaged around the starport, so those guys are busy.
So I tell the player party, take these two groups, link up with them. I tell the flights, link up with them, and you're all going to load up. You're it. There's no one else that can come. We're stuck in it here. The academic squad is dug in. Actually, get that group off the bridge. We don't need them there. They can join in. They can join in with the academic fight or the fight on the city center.
I think they want to head to the city center.
Okay, so they can
That
all
would be-
so both those groups, they can all jump in on this. The gunners, the suits, and the golds fighting at the academics, they need to stay because that's important. We need to hold this group here because if we can break through, we can probably take back the Rithipol, or not the Rithipol, the Bare Necessity, and that's an ace card out of their pocket. And
I've already taken that ace card out of their pocket.
they still got the guns. That's
Okay.
keeping our Novas out. So I just tell them, let me do one more thing. And is there like a net, like a speaker system throughout the city, like you would get city updates?
Yeah, the question is, can you tap into it? All right.
That's what I was going to ask the major, if he could tap in it from where he's at.
Okay, let's try. Nice try, though.
Crap. So I tell the group I can't get into the PA system. If so, I was going to rouse any civilian to help. But you're it. You are the cavalry. You're it. You're all we got. There's no help coming. Strike fast, strike true. People are going to be freaking out when the shots start happening. Get our people out of there. If they want to join in, give them a weapon. So that's all we can do for now. Good luck. Godspeed.
Okay. Those are the orders, and things start consolidating as a result of it. The player group, where do you guys want to be? Right now, you're walking next to this silvery thing that's heading towards the city center. And you see all these other folks move out, like there are a couple of hundred people just getting ready for this assault on the city center here and there. If you want to join with one of those groups, that's fine. If you want to continue what you're doing, that's great. So what are your intentions?
I'd like to go in.
And the rest of you there?
Well, you said the silver thing was approaching at walking speed, right?
Yeah.
So it should be getting there about the same time as us.
Pretty much.
Like I said, I'm hoping it gives us a distraction.
All right. So let's go ahead and we'll do it this way. You guys notice the following. As these groups kind of work their way into buildings, getting ready for their assault, figuring out a way to do this with minimal civilian casualties, because it's obviously that's what the bad guys are trying to set up as a wall of civilians. The line begins to accelerate, and you notice that the line behind you has grown wide. More of that is pushed up from beneath. It was maybe 5 feet wide before. Now it's immediately behind you. It's 10, 20. There seems to be more and more of it.
Okay,
It goes from walking to running.
Climbing on top of it and riding it like a worm would be a bad idea.
You want to try that?
You need something to plug one of your nostrils to do that.
Yeah.
If that's an option, Sid would probably write it in and shooting.
The Yippee-ki-yay, there he goes. All right. Okay. You can jump on it, but it's not too stable, I think. And that sinking into it thing takes a while. You're not in any danger just by standing on it. You have to be there for a long time. Okay, let's see here. It's which map is this? All right. I think we'll actually do this fight next time, but there is an oblique moment that I need to set up. And let me do it this way. You folks, you the players, the player group would be able to see this as it's happening. Maybe not hear everything that's said. But you have Emil Singh and Agatha of the council. Oh, no, also you had Zoe there as well, that are up there, tied up to the statues. You have this one fella, that's doing the speechifying, and you have all sorts of folks in the courtyard. Just imagine that for now. The stuff that you've been following, this thing has been going at walking speed, began accelerating, and is now racing towards the city center. Very likely going to provide that distraction that Ron, not Isaac, is hoping for. The speechifying is going. There's rumbling in the crowds. They are defiant. This is very much on their freedom. So, bad guy turns and says, "So I see that you're not agreeable to my offer. Oh, perhaps another bloodletting was in order." And he points at Agatha's, like the crowd, stood defiant the whole time, just staring right at him, silent. Just basically daring him to do anything. So the fella brings up his weapon, is aiming it, but then one of the other Aslan, as he fires, pushes it away. "We need her." "You defy me." Zosar there punches the other Aslan, presumably one of his lieutenants. "You defy me? I'll have your life." Points the weapon at him. That's when the serpentine thing arrives and pushes its way up beneath Agatha. The camera focuses on a drop of blood. Now, Zosar didn't miss entirely. The lethal shot was turned into a glancing blow, that hit her shoulder. So Agatha's been injured. And a drop of her blood falls down and hits that serpentine exposed bit of the ring world. All right. At that moment, somewhere out in the lake, you've got one of the fishermen, the latest would-be victims of that Nova that got shot down. They are hoofing it back to the to shore. They don't notice something rather important. But on shore, moments later, almost everybody does. This appears out in the lake. That stops all fighting. Essentially, a lightning tornado just erupts from the lake. What the hell is that? From the middle of that, a kind of a spike of this, what appears to be this serpentine stuff, just erupts out of the lake, water sloshing off of it. And a moment after that, let me make sure I've got that right. Okay. And do we even have the right? May not have put this in here. I don't. So we'll have to make do with this. In place of that tornado, this appears. You may remember Agatha is the venom that killed the things that these ring worlds are made of. And in the midst of all this conflict, all these years, she's never been anywhere near the actual ring world regolith itself. And now a drop of her blood has actually touched it. Everybody in the city, whether they have any sort of psychic potential or not, feels this wave of pain and rage from an immense being surrounding them, the ring world. And it's going to do something about it. But it's not the only thing that can do something about things. Because about 10 seconds after this thing appears over the city, and loud noise warning, is when the Rithipol fires her main gun. Now, this is the same shot that the other group, hundreds of miles away, saw. It wasn't aimed at them. It was aimed at this. But the shot kept going and hit somewhere near the shipwrecking yard. And that is where we will pause it.
Nice.
So probably it's lucky that you didn't get to shut down the Rithipol.
Hmm.
So actually, we made it a whole night without major interruption and Spectrum going nuts and any of that good stuff. It's cool.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yep, good show. It was worth 2 weeks.
Thanks for your patience and waiting for all this. And
That's
we
okay.
will.
Mine's still skippy. So.
It's all good. We're getting there. We're making progress.
Yeah, maybe I can get mine straightened out Monday.
So wait, which fisher boat caught that thing?
You saw it before the tornado erupted right beneath it.
Yeah.
So instead of being victims to the Nova, they're victims to that thing.
Hmm.
That's right. So yes, the ring world fights back.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll be next time.
Your butter knife is weirdly shaped.
It's a kukri.
Cuckoo butter?
No, kukri knife.
Oh yeah, but cuckoo butter. Yeah, that must be why you need a kukri knife.
I've been sharpening it, but also it's like, captain that's fighting is damn you, Aslan.
Do. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you. And I guess we'll go ahead and call it at this point. And
Yeah, that's me. So good show, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome.
It was the night of sevens.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Peg. I'll be out Monday for the doctor, so I will see you on Tuesday.
Yep. See you then.
All right. Be well, brother. We'll catch you later.
You too.